Hello people, it's Power here to review the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Legendary Morpher. So this is a product I bought off of eBay a while back alongside my Animorphs. As you can see, I actually got it alongside this Visor 3 right here. But this was an interesting purchase because the listing was very cryptic. I had to use binary to search it, and I don't even remember. It wasn't even using like the Lightning collection code that Josh typically uses. It was like RNG SG 756381257 something like that. And this cost me my entire tuition, so I can't afford anything anymore. This was a lot, and I wanted to cover it because, you know, I never owned a Lightning Collection product before. But anyways, here we have it right here. Just note, this was stolen directly out of the factory, and I can prove that because this is not finished at all. This does not even have its like back cover and such. It doesn't even have a battery or power switch, whatnot, and such. And the mechanisms are kind of like still, they're not really placed in there that well. But you know, we'll work with what we have. And yeah. So obviously we got the legendary Morpher right here. The cover is really weird because I got it like this. It has masking tape and it says test object. The seller told me if I were to remove the masking tape, they will come murder me. So I would like that to happen, boys. So yeah. So technically what we can have right here is just the front of the legendary Morpher. Obviously, I don't own the Bandai America one, because at that time my mom was really trying to like stop me from buying toys, so I wasn't allowed to get any more, or I wasn't allowed to get the roleplay stuff, but I was able to get the action heroes and such. But as you can see from here, the legendary Morpher is like it's pretty accurate to the prop. Unlike the Bandai America one, we actually finally have the full swords and such. And, you know, the keypad is pretty neat. These are not pressable, but however, you can actually press the keypad now. It doesn't do anything still, but, they're individual buttons. And again, like, we got these side buttons here. I don't know what the point of that is. And we got the speaker right there. And as you can see, this is like a definite upscale to the legendary Morpher that Bandai put out. And speaking of the cross swords, I think if you just press a button here, yeah, you can see it's actually pretty accurate, which is pretty cool. Although obviously this is a factory stolen one, so it's not perfect. Like, this doesn't really close that well and such, but yeah, just let me get my Gosei Morpher for us to compare. So here we have the Bandai America Gosei Morpher, and then here's the Hasbro Legendary Morpher. It's pretty accurate. This thing has gone more finicky. So obviously, as you can see from here, when it's extended, it's basically the same size. Yeah, still active after all these years. Turning this on, yeah, I get so the spring mechanism will just kind of come off once in a while. Just simply put into there, and then we're good. So the turn on sound, like, I'm actually surprised with the amount of sounds that Hasbro was able to carry over from the Bandai one. So here we go. So there's the typical turn-on sound of the legendary Morpher. Again, the keypad, while it's all, a singular button, it still technically just does the one thing. That's kind of it. However, one thing they did actually is that you can actually do the summon skyship sound. So that's simply 5501. So yeah, and then they put in this neat code. I don't know why it's there, but you put in 3821. You get that for some reason, which is pretty interesting. Again, this side buttons here, you get like 2 additional sounds. So here is like the sound effect button. I don't get the point of it. That's not even accurate to the show. And then this is a BGM button. However, the BGM button, like the BGM tracks in here, are kind of weird because they sound like they kind of on a stereo. They don't really sound like they're from this speaker, which is really weird. But the 3 tracks you get is obviously the Megaforce opening, you get the Morphine theme, and then I believe it's an instrumental of the opening. So let's go through that. Obviously, I'm going to skip through that. The Morphine theme. It sounds like they just took that straight out of, that the person that typically does put out the Power Rangers music. They probably just got it without his permission. And then the instrumental. So yeah, that's basically it for the base legendary Morpher. Apparently there are supposed to be phrases, but you don't get those until you get into the keys. So let's get straight into that. So here are the 5 Ranger keys that are supposed to be included with the legendary Lightning Collection Morpher. So taking these to the side, obviously here we have Super Megaforce Red, and obviously again, just like the legendary Morpher itself, they upscaled it from Bandai's, and as you can see from here, you got Super Megaforce Red, like so, and then you get the track like so. You just simply flip this up, and then just like the Bandai one, you flick it, though it's a bit harder because it's on a notch. So what Hasbro did, because they were actually smart for once, is that if you get this stuck, just simply press this button to help you unlatch it, and then it'll flip open. And again, to make it more accurate, this is no longer a QR code, so you can't use this in the key scanner app. And here's the track. So that is Super Megaforce Red. Now we got Megaforce Red. Again, this is a factory one, so his head looks kind of weird. But other than that, he looks pretty decent and such. Again, surprisingly, Hasbro didn't put any trans stamps to this. So again, this is how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to just simply flick it, just like the Bandai. Once again, showing that I'm not pressing this. So that's how it's supposed to be. Again, the Megaforce symbol. As you can see, it's a completely different And I believe, actually, we can look into it. Hasbro definitely pushed up the sound capacity for this version, even though we don't even know what keys they're releasing. So obviously, to go along with the original release, we got Mmpr Red. Although it seems like Hasbro did a worse job at it. It doesn't look as good as the Bandai one, despite being upscaled. It's really weird. And then, again, like, these keys really do not, like, flipping open. They're supposed to flip open like so, but... Oh. And now we got our two interesting ones, because Hasbro wants to be as concise as possible with the legendary Morpher Lightning Collection version. So they actually gave us two teams that we've never gotten releases for. So here we have Squadron Red, which is pretty cool. Obviously, you know, we never used the Die Ranger suits, so it's really cool for us to actually own Squadron Red, despite the fact we were supposed to get the Squadron Rangers, but they just never gave it to us, which is really weird. This really does not like cooperating. So there's the Squadron, aka New Powers logo. In the legendary Morpher, it's Squadron. And then, interestingly enough, they gave us Dragon Mode Red. I guess we're only getting the reds for, like, the ones we've actually seen. So I don't think we're getting, like, Lightning Mode Red, or, like, Blitz Mode Red, or Prism Mode Red, I meant. Again, I feel like Hasbro missed the trim on this or something like that. It's really weird. Again, they made it so difficult with how you're supposed to flick these, because it's so dumb. But, yeah. So an interesting thing that Hasbro actually kept with these ones is, like, if you remember the Bandai ones, their entire gimmick is that you're supposed to bash them to each other to have them flip up and such. Hasbro actually retained that play feature. So you simply just slide your Ranger keys. Essentially, the sore loser is the one that flips open first. So, like, there, you know, Troy versus Troy, this is the battle of the century and such. The issue is that Hasbro, like, made it difficult to try to, like, make this work. Maybe it's just me not, like, doing it correctly, but, like, I don't know. Like, Hasbro just... to, like, retain a play feature from the Bandai version, they didn't really do a good job at it. Because you can see, like, the keys are supposed to flip up, but they're not. So, I don't know, it's kind of disappointing. Again, this is what the person that sent this to me, like, again, they gave me, like, an entire document of, like, what this can do, and they also asked for my social ID. So, and, like, my marital status, they asked about my favorite foods, and they also asked about whether or not I had, like, you know, insurance, like life insurance, who my family was, my address. Well, obviously they had to know my address and such for this to get sent here. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it's very disappointing. Like, especially with, like, one, like, now he doesn't want to flip. What the heck? Like, typically this one is the one that does flip, but it doesn't work. Yeah, it's just like, the play feature's apparently there, but it just doesn't want to work. Gosh darn it, Hasbro. So I apologize, I didn't state this before, but this actually does require AAA batteries and such. But obviously, I forgot to state this. If you hold this button down, it's morphin' time! You get Troy saying it's morphin' time. So obviously, to morph, just simply flip the key and insert it. And turn it. Super Megaforce Red! So there you get that sound retaining from the legendary Morpher. I apologize, this piece came out when it wasn't supposed to. There we got this flipped open. Again, it looks pretty good. Like, it looks pretty good for being flipped open and such. Again, I apologize for the lack of the light, but you know, like, this looks pretty good. And then if you actually press the button, you get Troy saying this. Yeah, so you get one Troy phrase and such. I'm pretty sure if you get the other Rangers, they'll have something, but I don't know. They're doing the same thing like what they did with the Power Morpher, where they're just simply adding the sounds from the show, or they're taking sound bits from the show but adding reverb. And interestingly enough, obviously when you use Megaforce Red, you get this Megaforce. I did that because it was gonna play the theme, but basically, yeah, they still retain the Megaforce sound in here and such, which is pretty cool. Now, obviously, to do Legendary Ranger mode, you simply, obviously, choose your Ranger and such, and sort of like so. So yeah, just like the Bandai version, the communicator beep, surprisingly. Sorry about that. You know, Zykin came in, he was getting curious as to why there are like certain black suited people at the front door, and he was going to take a look at it. But basically, Squadron and Dragon mode have interesting exchanges. I was told for the final version, they will actually bring back the voice of Gosei to like actually say Squadron, Dragon mode, Lightning mode, Blitz mode, Supersonic mode, and for I believe it was and Prism, but I think it was for Blitz mode and Lightning mode. You're going to be able. They are going to allow you to exchange the two to acknowledge that they have they had two names and such. As of now, though, they don't. These don't do anything. So, these keys have not been yet finalized. So, but I am pretty excited for what is gonna be up for this and such. I was also told that like when you actually put this key in, you get the entire exchange of them using this. Yeah. So they don't have the announcement down, but they got the entire like line exchange of because again, they are going to have like lines associated. I think each key is supposed to have a line associated with it. So like, you know, Wild Force, for example, that's going to have Troy saying, "Thanks, Wild Force," and such like that. Again, with this one, I believe it's supposed to be Super Mega Rangers. That's a Mega Win. Or that's this one. Mega Rangers, that's a Mega Win. Super Mega Rangers, that's a Super Mega Win. And I don't know what this one's supposed to have. But yeah, overall, just what this provides, I think it's pretty interesting for sure. I don't know how much it does or will do as much, because again, if we actually look through here, there are 7 pins right there. And I'm curious as to like what Hasbro has in mind if we're possibly going to get new Ranger keys, because I heard apparently the actual release of this, it's actually going to be 10 keys, but that's because they're actually going to include like, I believe, Dino Charge, Ninja Steel, Beast Morphers, Dino Fury. They're going to include those 4 keys. And I don't know who the 10th key is. I think it was just going to be the 9 keys. So essentially that's what was sent to me, that the final release will actually include the last 2 Neo Saban series, and then the first 2 Hasbro era series. I don't know why Samurai wasn't included if you included Megaforce and Super Megaforce. But like, you know, at the same time though, it's like you could have given us someone else other than these 2, but you know, they're neat and such. We get, you know, it's just nice to finally own a Squadron Red, especially with the comic. And I don't think Dragon Mode's been in anything. I think Supersonic is 5-man. I think Supersonic was in the comics. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think for my first Lightning Collection product, it's definitely interesting for sure. I guess it's on par with the Power Morpher. And also I was told that, again, because this is a test product, they will remove the battery, or they will remove the power switch in the final product. I think they said they're actually going to like, they said they were going to remove something of here. I think they might, I don't know, because I think they said that they want to retain this as a individual keypad, but they said they might have to retract and make this all one button. But other than that, whenever this actually gets announced and when Josh actually gets the actual information for this thing, I think it should be something every Super Megaforce fan should look into, because I think they said they're working on going through the footage, going through the audio, trying to dump that onto here and such. But yeah, so that'll have to do with this review. I'm gonna see if Striken didn't get stolen, and I'll leave you people. Bye.